Welcome to the Transform Sales Podcast, where forward-thinking business leaders come to share their experiences and ideas, learn from each other, and amplify their results together.
Hey guys, this is Menjura here, your host. Today we have another session of the Transform Sales Podcast Software Review. We have a special guest today. We have Andrey, CTO of Weberlo. How's it going?
Hey, all good. Sorry about my camera. It's a bit blurry from time to time.
Not a problem, right? The idea here is that we share value to who's watching and obviously focus on your specific use case. In this case, we're going to be focusing guys on optimizing ad spend for SaaS companies. But before we kind of nail down what the product is, I kind of want to understand the background. How did it started? Was this something where you wanted to solve for, you were using it yourself? Or is something that, you knew you had the right team, you knew that you had the right market fit, and you wanted to kind of bring it up to the market? How did that work out for you guys?
No, originally this was it was an internal tool that I built for myself. It didn't have any of the fancy design that it has now. It was literally just something really basic, and I found value in it. So I decided that, okay, why not build a SaaS for other people as well? Yeah.
Awesome. And when it comes to the alternatives, what were some alternatives that your customers were using before decided to purchase your product?
Yeah, so some people are using Google Analytics, others are using pixel tracking. That is, in the ad platforms, you can set up your own pixel for tracking. And some people were using spreadsheets. So it's really, case by case.
So what I'm getting from this is that it was a lot of manual work. There was a lot of missing information as well in terms of measuring performance, right?
Yeah, the problem is that the pixels, they're not so good. They're being blocked, and you lose pieces of the data, which with Weberlo you can actually keep all your data. Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned one of the challenges. What are other challenges that your customers were running into with those alternatives that your software can help them overcome?
Yeah, exactly. So the challenges is that mainly they would lose data. So when somebody comes to your website from somewhere, if you miss that data, if you don't capture it, or if you lose it, and when a sale happens, you will never know from where this sale came from. And this is what happens when you're using cookies. Mm-hmm. And when you're using pixel tracking, it's unavoidable to lose this data. And with Weberlo, you can basically, keep it.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that I want to mention on the podcast is I've been a huge fan of referral programs, right? And most of them require like a tracking link. And there's moments that I experienced where maybe the link was broken, it was outdated, there's a new page, and sometimes there's opportunities that are missed, right? And I've been in situations where, for example, right, I shared the link, the person subscribed, there's some sort of reward assigned to me, but it didn't capture the purchase. So if it didn't capture the purchase, then I'm losing commission, right? The person is either way, the person is communicating with me saying that the sale happened, but the tracking didn't pick it up, right? So
yeah, especially if you're using ad platforms like Facebook, where the attribution window is just 7 days, meaning that if somebody visits your website and they don't convert within 7 days, then you can forget about it. The information is lost. Whereas if you're using a third-party tracking tool, you can have this attribution window can be for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually I will see 90 days, right? Or
well, in case of Weberlo, it's lifetime, the attribution window. So It's going to look like the whole history back.
Got it. Perfect. So this is one of the most requested portion of the podcast, which is kind of showing us a demo. Can you kind of share some key features that your software helped overcome for this use case that you previously just mentioned?
This just gives you some overview stats, how your different traffic sources are performing, how your different pages are performing, what's your ad spend, what's your ROAS, geographic distribution, mobile versus desktop. This is giving you some overall stats. But if we're specifically running ads, we want to go to the ads page. And this will give you a breakdown. In this case, it's Google Ads. It will give you a breakdown specifically. It will import the data from the ad platform, so your ad spends and the ad impressions. And then Weberlo will cover and capture the visitors, how many leads you generated or forms were submitted, how many orders you got. And then it will calculate using this ad spend and what you made, what is your return on ad spend, ROAS. And if you have a positive ROAS, of course, you can focus, you can increase your ad spend on the ads that are performing well versus the ones that aren't converting, like these ones here that aren't converting, you can switch them off. And this allows you to optimize your ad spends better. If you're using meta ads, then we also have a feature for using the conversion API that you are able to send the conversions back to the ad platform, and the ad platform can use its algorithm to optimize even better your ads to who they're targeting. Yeah.
Awesome. So one of the things that I wanted to ask is, I know you're seeing a lot of companies burn money in ads. So when a buyer comes to you, obviously one thing is enabling with the tool, but one thing is also sharing best practice, how they should like optimize the content they're adding into those ads. Do you kind of give some recommendations, best practice for those buyers to make sure that they make the best use of your tool?
Well, we just give the data, and then it's pretty much we don't have like insights or anything. We give the data, and then the customer can do it what they want with it. But the important thing is that you don't accidentally switch off your best performing ads because you didn't have this data. Because when you do that, you're just going to lose money and you're going to lose time. Whereas if you have accurate data, you can look at it, you can compare what you have in the ads manager, but it won't be the same data that you have here. If you compare the data in the ads manager and the data you have here, you will see something completely different. And that's where the value is, that you get accurate tracking and you can then optimize already accordingly.
Okay. So the platform itself will give you some insights for you to kind of make those improvements internally, regardless of what channel you're using.
Yeah. So this works for ads, but it also works for organic traffic. If it's organic traffic, it's all based on UTMs. Like here, for example, you can see how many sales you're making from different search engines. Like, for example, Bing, we have $3,000. Of course, Google is king. Yeah, this is just different ways that you can use this. You can see how much sales you're making from each email. And yeah, those are the ads, and the organics is the main. Well, what it shows you is basically from where your sales are coming from. Your sales are coming in the system, and then it's identifying each individual sale and saying, aha, this sale came from this website visitor, and it's matching the data, it's attributing it, and it's telling you specifically from where your sales are coming from, which of course will allow you to make better decisions in marketing.
Got it. So it kind of works out like a portal with, everything that you're publishing out there, it gets collected and actually gives you a more informed and accurate numbers for you to, bring that back to your team. And
it's stitching the data together. Like if you're using Google Analytics, you won't be looking at real transactions. You'll just be looking at events that happen on the website. So like, for example, somebody hits the thank you page and that triggers an event on the website, and you assign like a hypothetical value, let's say $100 to this conversion. It's not a real transaction, because the real transaction, it happens in the payment gateway or in the shopping cart. And that's how Weberlo is different, is that you connect the shopping carts.
Got it.
And it will use real transactions to give you these reports. So you won't have missing conversions, you won't have duplicates conversions. The values that you see here are the exact values that are in the shopping carts. And that's how you set it up as well. So you connect either one of those shopping carts that we have, or of course, if you're not using any of these shopping carts, you can always connect it like using Zapier or Make, or using the API. And then you connect, yeah.
No, I was gonna say, like, so somebody that's overseeing this is better. They will be better equipped to go back to the team and get more budget or specific things that are working for them, right? Because before, like, I would see that numbers were so disconnected. So for you to justify a budget for ads, it will be a lot harder, right? It will be more of like the trust element and less of the data element, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's it's about knowing which traffic source is bringing in how much money, and you want to double down on what's working and cut what's not working. And when we're talking about ads, we have the ROAS, so it's pretty easy to calculate. But then there are also other activities like CEO. And with CEO, we would want to look at the best performing pages to make a decision.
Got it.
Which page is making how much money? And like, imagine you create a blog post, and SaaS companies, they often, it's a big channel for SaaS companies CEO, right? So they will want to know how many sales you're making individually from each page, like the lifetime value of a page. And you can get this data here.
No, and I also feel like when it comes to like repurposing content, knowing where most of your traffic is coming from, it allows you to repurpose, let's start that one blog that kind of helped us, that's now turning into a post so that we keep attracting more of that people, right? I wanted to ask you a question. Is this also integrated within like LinkedIn ads as well?
LinkedIn ads, we have it in development for some time. We never published it because nobody came in and said like, hey, we need LinkedIn ads. So basically, we're just waiting for somebody to come in and say, hey, we need LinkedIn ads, and then we switch it on.
Got it. Do you think it's more of a situation where it's a lot more expensive to do ads on LinkedIn and it requires a very detailed ICP in order for you to get it?
LinkedIn ads doesn't work. LinkedIn ads doesn't work for everyone. It's more expensive, and most of the people, they're focused either on Facebook ads or Google ads.
Got it. Well, thanks for sharing that. One of the questions that I wanted to ask is when it comes to setting me up for success, what will be the tasks, deliverables, and or people involved in setting up this use case, and how long would it typically take to reach full productivity?
The setup process is pretty easy. There are two parts to it. One of them is you install this tracking codes on all your pages. If you're using WordPress, there's a WordPress plugin. If you're using Shopify, there's a Shopify app. BigCommerce, there's also an app. But if you're using any other platform, then you basically... Oh, my kids just came here.
That's good.
Then you install this script, and this will automatically track all your forms as well. So if somebody enters their email address in a form, Weberlo will capture it and send it back inside. Once you have this connected, the only thing you need is to connect your shopping cart. And then it will import the transactions. And you can optionally connect an ad platform if you want the ad spend to be as well inside.
So you already mentioned like what is the kind of setup process, but I wanted to ask you what person in your team will be in charge of setting me up for success? Would that be a customer success manager? Who will be the best person for this?
To do the technical setup, you mean?
Yeah. Or do you think it's very self-serve where I could go ahead and do this myself within minutes?
Yeah, you can do it yourself. If the integration is available, then you can do it yourself, because it's just like it's a one-click thing. You say I want to connect, and then it takes you and you just authorize it. It's not like there is a very technical process behind it.
Okay. Awesome.
It's pretty straightforward. If you can, I mean, you could potentially use a web developer to do this, but I think for most people, they should be able to set this up themselves.
Awesome. Awesome. One of the questions that I wanted to ask that's highly demanded by the audience is when it comes to your support channels, what tends to be your more real-time channel for you to help existing and new potential buyers, whether chat, email, or phone?
Yeah, we have this bubble here in the bottom, and anybody can come here and I have a question and we'll answer. So
Awesome.
definitely the chat bubble is the best way to reach us.
Awesome. And what are the price ranges that you currently have right now? Oh,
The pricing currently, these are the different plans that we have, and they're based on essentially page views and sales.
yeah.
And yeah, if you're just starting out, it's $39 a month. If you're already doing well and you have, let's say, 1 million page views, then it's $700 a month. If you go above that, then it's just best to book a demo and we'll give the price.
Awesome. Awesome. I mean, just to kind of wrap it up, what are some KPIs that your ideal customer uses to evaluate their success with your software for this specific use case, which is ad spend, and what quantifiable outcomes can they expect?
You can expect if you're connecting, for example, if you connect the conversion API and you start feeding the conversions back to the ad platforms, you can expect your cost for the advertisement to drop like 10 to 20%. That's like the typical gain that people get after using Weberlo in like a 2-month period.
Okay. Awesome. Any other KPI that I should be aware of?
No, I think that's the main one, the ad spend.
Awesome. Well, I think this was a great session. I think it was a very easy and user-friendly platform to kind of get myself activated, kind of see, where's the money going, right? Where I should focus the most, right? How can I report back to the team? How can I justify a budget to continue, doing advertisement, right? But is there anything else that you kind of want to touch base? I feel like we kind of covered a few things that we wanted to cover, but anything else you want to share with the audience?
I think that's pretty much it. That's you want to know exactly where you put $1 in and you have $1 out, and you just want to know how many dollars you're putting in and how many are coming out, and what's working, what's not working. That's basically, yeah.
Absolutely. Like my main takeaway here, I would say, is the lifetime attribution, right? Being able to track a lead lifetime. I think that's the main takeaway for me, right? But I think this was a great session. Guys, thank you for being part of the Transform Sales podcast self-software review. For those that are interested in not burning any ad money anymore, and you want to optimize your ad spend, this will be a great alternative. Andrey will be here to support you and his team. Any questions that you may have. Thank you for this session.